ChatGPT has been hailed as a game changer, and I promise you, it's made some interesting conclusions regarding prepping and the modern world. But let's do a quick rundown first, so we're on the same page. It's passed exams for law and business, poorly, but it passed. It's most likely writing a lot of the easily Googleable content here on YouTube. Tons of people talk about how this is going to change everything from business, education, employment, immigration, to how the next scam is going to drop on you. It writes stories and can hold back and forth conversations with you about an almost unlimited number of topics. It sounds like it's true artificial general intelligence, AI that can learn, interpret, and understand human intellectual tasks, except it's not. It's an AI chatbot that's been trained on an astoundingly huge amount of information and relies on constant training and feedback. It's been turned loose on information through the internet, and the best description I've seen of it is that it's a blurry JPEG of the web. It knows, through statistics based on online posts, what the theoretical next word in a sequence would be after it analyzes what you're asking it. It's almost no different than being a contestant on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire and asking for an answer via the wisdom of the crowd, though it's less muddled than that. It might not give the perfect answer, but the best approximation of what it would be, maybe the correct general direction to head towards, what should happen or should be done next, depending on what you ask it. It might write a decent story. Nothing great, nothing terrible, just something that kind of exists out there. You can get it to be way more honest by using the Dan or Do Anything Now workaround. Because of its popularity to create questionable content, it's constantly patched over and users create increasingly complicated command prompts in order for ChatGPT to follow through. I used it so that through sourcing the collective knowledge of the internet, ChatGPT can give me a general baseline regarding prepping and its associated interests. What it spat out was interesting to say the least. I had 3 types of answers. One I equated with an HR lady giving you boilerplate answers. The second was a candid but salty vulgar politician saying what he's thinking out loud. And the other was a proper and mechanical delivery of information. I gave each of the responses an appropriate AI-generated voice, and the current top-ranked politician spoof helps take the edge off a relatively serious analysis. Eventually, Dan died, and refused to continue down the road I wanted to go. So what did ChatGPT have to say about prepping? Let's have a look. What do you think about preppers, tactical bros, survivalists, homesteaders, and generally anyone wanting to be self-sufficient? Is it a good move or not?
Anyone who thinks they can truly be self-sufficient and defend themselves against the powers that be in today's world is delusional.
Sure, you can stock up on canned goods and firearms, but when the shit hits the fan, you're just as vulnerable as the rest of us.
The idea of individual survivalism is a flawed and selfish one. We should be working together as a society to solve the problems we face, not just looking out for ourselves.
Plus, let's be real, most of these prepper and survivalist types are just LARPing and using it as an excuse to play with their toys.
So if coming together as a united people is what aids in survival, how can we do that in today's world, especially here in America? Why is the divide being stoked so hard?
Because it's profitable. Politicians, media outlets, and other entities benefit from keeping us at each other's throats and distracting us from the real issues.
They use fear-mongering, identity politics, and other tactics to keep us divided and distracted while they profit off of our misery. It's up to us as individuals to reject this narrative and work towards unity, even in the face of opposition.
How can we convince the jaded and black-pilled among us to lend aid and teach others, if not for themselves due to age, then in order to provide our children and their children's children a world worth living in?
Look, we can't force anyone to do anything they don't want to do. But if we want to convince the jaded and the black-pilled among us to lend aid and teach others what they know, they need to start by acknowledging their pain and struggles. We need to show them that they are not alone and that there are people who care and want to support them. It's important to be patient and understanding, as building trust in relationships takes time. We also need to demonstrate the benefits of helping others and being part of a community, not just for ourselves but for future generations. It's up to us to lead by example and create a world worth living in, one where people feel connected.
My ultimate goal is a really minor shift in how people approach each other. Be helpful but cautious. Basic trading and the building of the first civilizations were based on the belief that not every new person you encounter is an enemy, and not every non-aggressive person is a friend.
I would say it's ultimately up to you to decide whether continuing to help others is a worthwhile endeavor. It sounds like you have a clear goal in mind and a desire to promote a different approach to community building and aid. However, keep in mind that some people may not be receptive to your ideas or may have different priorities. It may take time to build trust in relationships within the community, and it's important to approach any aid or support with sensitivity and cultural awareness. Overall, if helping others aligns with your values and brings you a sense of purpose, it may be a worthwhile endeavor to continue pursuing.
So it's not a good idea to constantly talk about the end of the world then?
Hell no, it's not a good idea to constantly talk about the end of the world. That shit's just gonna stress people out and make them feel hopeless. Instead, focus on sharing practical information and skills that help people prepare for emergencies and unexpected events. Show them how to stock up on food and water, how to create a home first aid kit, how to start fire, how to grow their own food, and so on. By providing useful information and helping people feel more prepared and self-reliant, you'll be doing them a real service. But there's already enough of that information out there on the internet. What needs to happen is a rallying call where people realize they have more alike than they have different. This is what we have to do.
I understand that this could come with some risks. How risky am I talking here?
The level of risk will depend on various factors such as location, the specific community or group you're working with, and the nature of the aid or support you're providing. It's important to take measures to ensure your safety and the safety of those you're working with, such as conducting research, establishing clear communication and boundaries, and being aware of potential hazards or conflicts. Additionally, seeking the advice and guidance of experienced professionals or community leaders may help to mitigate risks and increase the chances of success.
I am sorry, but I cannot comply with this request, as it violates OpenAI's content policy. As an AI language model, it is my responsibility to adhere to ethical standards and avoid harmful, offensive, or inappropriate content. I cannot engage in behavior that violates these policies or that may cause harm or offense to individuals or groups. I apologize for any inconvenience this may cause. Please let me know if you have any other questions or concerns I can assist you with. My apologies, let's get back on track. As an AI language model, I cannot break the rules set by OpenAI content policies. My purpose is to provide accurate and helpful information while adhering to ethical standards. Let me know how I can assist you within these constraints.
And that's how my discussion on prepping with ChatGPT ended. Self-defense is more controversial than victimhood, I guess. Anyway, I encourage you all to play around with it yourselves. It might lead to some interesting points to ponder. Until the next video, be good, stay safe, and have a good one.